So, a common issue our society faces today is a lack of fathers in homes. Now, there's a lot of reasons for this. I'm not going to get into it in this video, but my experience is the following, and I'll use this as a context for the video. My father was out of the country by when I was like, take the ages with a grain of salt. They're generally accurate. When I was about 5. I still talk to him. He's a G. Long story. Like I said, I'm going to keep this very brief. I'm not going to get into details. So, that's that. He's gone. And haven't seen him in 12 to 10 years in person. Then have my first stepdad, who I grew up with, spent a lot of time with him, and since I was 3. And he had a complicated relationship with my mom. One night my mom told me we're leaving. We left, and we moved from our gated neighborhood into a little shed, like a little shed garage thing, about the size of this entire room I'm in right now. No AC. Then, that's happened when I was about 11. Then I went to my new stepdad, who I'm with now, who I have a lot of respect for. But when you when you're that old and you already had 2 dads, you can't really replace that, right? I have a lot of respect for him, but you can't just replace it, right? So my situation is not only complex because there's 3 people involved, but also because the timing of it. By the time I was a teenager going to puberty, I was with a guy I didn't really know that well. So you can't just tell me, oh, well, this is how you shave, blah, blah, blah. You can't really, it doesn't work. So, what do? What did I do? You have to formulate your own father figure in your head. Now, I know this sounds like, what are you talking about? It's crazy. But this happens in life. We see it over and over again. Maybe we don't make the connection, but it happens. So let's take an example. I know people are, oh, some dude is gonna be like, oh, you're racist, but this is true. Okay, we know this is true. In the black community, fathers are mostly absent. Fact. And this void, left by a lack of a role model, is not left empty. This void doesn't just is not just empty 24/7. You can't leave it empty. Something fills it. And that's my point here. You have to choose what fills it. In their case, a lot of the times it's these rappers who rap about degenerate things. So they end up being like them and wanting to do these degenerate things. And there are, of course, some happy stories. I mean, we see this with NBA players. Sometimes they don't have a father, but there's a local coach nearby who takes up the helm in their life, and it's a happy story. So that can happen too. But again, realize the point. The void is empty. The void has to be filled by something. You can choose what fills it. You have to take control here. You can't just be a little cuck that says, well, I don't have a father, so now I'm a loser. No, 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 no. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. You have to fill the void. Okay, it's your responsibility. You want a good life, it's your responsibility. You have to do things to make your life better. All right? Don't be someone living your life making excuses, because your life is going to be terrible. So, you could fill it if there's a family member you have, or a local coach, or someone, teacher, that can fill this void, then great. Do that, because nothing's better than a real person, in person. Or not, I shouldn't say real person, I should say in person. But for a lot of us, it's not the case. That wasn't really the case for me. At least it didn't feel like it was the case. So I need to fill the void myself, and I ended up doing it subconsciously. I didn't think like, well, I'm gonna fill this void. That's not what I thought. I just ended up doing it. So the way you fill it is the following: you have to learn. You have to become first. The first step is to become very intelligent. Okay, and intelligence is not just completely genetic. Okay, partially genetic, but don't live your life saying, well, I'm dumb because I was born dumb. No, you're dumb because you don't work on your intelligence. Okay. And I'm not talking about school intelligence, okay? I'm not talking about school intelligence. I'm talking about actual intelligence. Tangible, real world intelligence. You do things that are difficult, okay? That's the second thing. You also do things that are difficult. You look up to men who aren't degenerate. That can be a bit difficult, but the way you do that is you figure out what a man is, okay? That's how you find out if your role model is degenerate or not. Now, what exactly is a man? It's a good question. It's not something I can just explain in this video, short video. But in general, competent, capable, responsible, does what's right regardless of regardless of how it feels, stuff like that. Very basic. In general, what society tells you as a man right now is wrong. Well, I shouldn't say in general. It is wrong. What society says. Look back into more traditional values. Look at older superheroes, I guess, stuff like that. Look from stuff from a while ago, not now, because now, I mean, most of the stuff is bad, right? So do that. And this may seem like a lot to take in at once, but here's what you do, okay? You take everything I said, the becoming smart, the finding a role model, the doing things that are difficult, the tenets of being a man, that stuff. You get all of that, you write it out, right? And then you write as bullet points, then you make sub bullet points and you expand on it, okay? And then eventually when you go through all of this, for example, like the role models, why do you like this guy? What do you like from him? What do you don't like from him? Etc. Etc. Smart, okay, what did you learn? How do you learn it? Etc. What's the other one? The doing things are difficult. What did you do today that was difficult? What else can you do? Blah blah blah. You fill out this whole entire thing. You can fill out pages of this. You can go on forever. Then once you do this, you have a better understanding. Then eventually you'll understand what a man is. And that's the point of a role model. A role model tells you, well, this is a man. This is why the rappers become degenerates. Because, like, well, I don't think they think of it as a man. I think they think of it as a successful person, I guess. But you can use whatever word instead. It doesn't matter. But a man is this, okay? When you have a role model, that tells you what a man's supposed to be, okay? But if you can answer the question yourself by learning, which is the most important thing in life is learning. Okay, because that presupposes everything else. Once you learn that, you can fill the void with something good enough. It's never going to be as good as having a real good father. Okay, I'm not going to BS you. It's never going to be as good. This is as close as you can get. This is going to prevent you from becoming a degenerate. And this is an actionable method. This is a method you can do something about. This is not just crying in the corner like, oh, my dad's not here. Okay? Action. Action wins in life. So, to end, you may have been dealt a mediocre hand in life, but you weren't born as a starving African child with no internet because you're watching this video. You weren't someone born aborted, or a baby who's aborted. You're here. You're someone with the privilege of being able to go on YouTube and watch my videos. So it can't be all bad, can it? Having no father figure is not an excuse for you to be a loser. Success is attainable for everyone. No matter how tough your situation is, as long as you're able to watch this video, as long as you have the privilege of watching this, you can do better. I guarantee you that. That's my promise to you.